morning, everyone. It is the first day of Contemporaryathon, and I'm just starting off great. My cats would not let me sleep last night. They are at the vet this morning, so I had to take away their food early yesterday, and so they were like all over me. I didn't go to bed till like 1 because they were just kept attacking me, and then my daughter had a nightmare and crawled into bed with me at 5. And she never went back to sleep because, of course, the kittens were all like, yay, she's here to play. So, not much sleep to begin with. And then, I dropped off Bernadette at preschool and dropped off the kittens at the vet. And originally, they told me that it would all be done today, that I would be able to come back this afternoon. So, I was just going to stay in town all morning doing reading and errands and stuff like that. But then now they tell me they have to stay the night. But I still, I have my mom at home with Eliza, so I'm still going to stay in town until I have to pick up Bernadette from preschool, because we live about 25 minutes away from the preschool, so it still saves an hour of driving if I stay in town. So yeah, I get to be alone for the next 3 hours doing, whatever I want to do while I am waiting to pick up Bernadette. But then we have to come back to town tomorrow to get the cats. Not the best. But that means that right now I am at Panera, and so I'm going to go in and have a little tea to hopefully wake me up because I'm extremely exhausted. And I brought my book. Where's it at? I brought More Than We Can Tell. That was the one I drew for the beginning of the Contemporaryathon. I also was listening to Emmy and Oliver on the way here after I dropped her off, like on the way to the vet and over here, and it starts off with a lot going on, since it's a story about two friends from like they were friends since they were born, but then the boy Oliver, he is kidnapped by his dad in 2nd grade, and they all haven't seen him, and he shows back up. So that's basically all that's happened so far. Yesterday last time when I talked to you, I said I was going to Starbucks, but I remembered that we have a local coffee shop downtown, so I ended up going there. I didn't vlog because it's kind of a more intimate setting, but I just sat there for 2 hours and read More Than We Could Tell. It was lovely, and I really enjoyed it. It's just, as a mom, it's been a long time. Sorry, my daughter is playing with this game. I put her in the other room, and she brought it back out. But she bangs on the balls with the hammers, and they make all that noise like a Plinko machine. It's very annoying. Who knew it was so hard to film a clip? I put her back in the playroom. Let's see if she stays, because that game is just too loud. So anyways, read 100 pages at the coffee shop. Then when I went to bed last night, so I was at that page, I finished it. I stayed up way too late. I stayed up till 2. Because once I got started, I just couldn't stop. That's what happened with Letters to the Lost too. I just read it in one day and stayed up too late reading it, because I just love the way she writes characters. This is about 2 teens. We do dual perspective. So we follow Rev, who was the best friend of the main character in Letters to the Lost. Really liked Rev. And in this book, Rev is dealing with, his birth father has contacted him. He was an abusive father for the first 7 years of his life. Then he was taken into foster care and has been living with his family that adopted him after, being in foster care, after him living with them for a while in foster care. And yeah, so he's dealing with a lot of hard stuff. There's a girl named Emma who has created a game online, and she's being harassed, and somebody is saying horrible things about her on this game. So we both are dealing with issues, and I really like how Bridget Kimmer and her contemporaries really makes teenagers have depth. Like, both of them have like full characters, have issues, deal with those issues in good ways and then in really bad ways, and show like both sides of that like, they're human feeling, and I just really enjoy it. There is a little romance, a perfect amount of romance, but still a lot of family drama and other stuff, and I just loved it. So yes, even though I'm tired, I'm so happy I finished this. It was really good. And then I did read my 5 chapters of Emmy and Oliver. I actually ended up reading 7 chapters because I was listening to the audiobook in the car, and you know, when you listen to the audiobook, sometimes you just don't even notice. And I actually listened to it while I was in the shower this morning, so I'm already almost done with my chapters for today. I think I'm on the middle of chapter 9, so just one more chapter left of that. Since I have finished my first book, it's time to draw another book. And so if you didn't didn't watch my contemporary plans video, that was kind of like my TBR for this week, I am totally doing like mood reading, drawing the different challenges from a jar so that I can kind of decide what I want to read in the moment. So I'm going to draw from the books that have yellow on the cover. Obviously, I used yellow stickies for that. And I've got like my stacks of books over there. It's kind of hard to open this with one hand. Okay. So I might do my first like choose not to read it. So I pulled Close Enough to Touch, which is an adult contemporary. But I've heard this kind of has some more sad emotional stuff too, because the main character in this has an allergy to touch or skin-to-skin contact or something. And after now I can't even remember what was the book I just read. More Than We Could Tell. Oh my gosh. That one I cried like 5 different times. So I don't think I'm ready for another emotional contemporary right now, which is why I didn't pick the hard-hitting one, because I just needed something a little more fluffy, I think, now. So I'm going to pass on that one and draw another one. And I drew another kind of tough one. Okay. I'm not even going to tell you what it is. See, I know that's mean. Alright, finally. I got something that I think is going to be a little more light. And I don't actually know. I don't know what all this book has in it, but I think it's going to be lighter than the other two. The other one I drew, I will tell you. It was called Written in the Stars, and Books and Lala had just read that. Kayla did, and she said there was some tough stuff in it. It's about a girl who her parents want her to be in an arranged marriage, and I guess there's some emotional, hard-hitting stuff in there too. But like I said, need something a little more fluffy. But what I drew was Graffiti Moon by Kath Crawley. And this is, I don't really know much. I think it all happens in one day, and it's about a group of graffiti artists or something, like teenagers. At least one of them is a graffiti artist. So I think this will be a little more light, and it's pretty short. It's only like 250 pages. So I think this will be perfect for a readathon, and I don't think it'll be as dark or as emotional as the other two I picked. And that's kind of what I want today, something just enjoyable to read. So this just happened. Eliza crawled herself in the cat carrier with the cat outside. The kitty cats just came back from being neutered today. Oops, careful, gentle. So we're just letting them chill and recover. You're a silly. You are silly. Hey, so it's later on Tuesday, and I had started Graffiti Moon, just got like 2 chapters in, but I'm really in the mood for an audiobook, and the audiobook I was listening to was Emmy and Oliver. But the problem is that I'm buddy reading this with Tia, and I was only supposed to read 5 chapters a day, and meaning I was supposed to stop at chapter 10 today, and I have read through chapter 15 because I'm just in the mood for an audiobook. So I don't want to go farther in this and get even farther ahead of Tia and our buddy read. So I looked, and it turns out that Graffiti Moon has an audiobook at my library. And the awesome thing is, I listened to the sample, is that the narrators are Australian, which makes sense because this author is Australian, and so it takes place somewhere in Australia. The author is from Victoria, which is where Melbourne is. So I don't know if it takes place in Melbourne or what, but it's exciting because I love the Australian accent, so I'm gonna listen to this. The other good thing about this is it's only a 5-hour audiobook, so it should go by really quick, and I might even be able to finish this tonight by listening to it on audio. Alright, so it's Wednesday, and I finished Graffiti Moon. I listened to most of it on audiobook. I did some last night, and then this morning when I was driving to errands and stuff with Eliza, I listened to it, and then I just finished it physically, and I didn't like it, unfortunately. I was actually considering DNFing it last night, but I had gotten like over halfway. I got like 60%, and I was like, it's short. I should just finish it. I only had a couple hours left of the audiobook. And I don't know, it's one of those books that happens all in one night. So it's like these two teenagers, Lucy and Ed, and Lucy is trying to find this graffiti artist named Shadow, and so they pair up and are trying to find Shadow, looking at a lot of his art and stuff. The only thing I liked in this book pretty much was when they would talk about art. And that part was interesting, but other than that, I just felt like the dialogue was just kind of blah. Like, they didn't really feel like they had chemistry between the two of them, and kind of main thing of this is the romance and them getting together over the night. And yeah, I just didn't feel any connection to them, as like no like desire for them to get together. Yeah, and I just found it really boring. So I gave it 2.5 stars. I did round it up to 3 on Goodreads because I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with the way she's writing. Like, she had some really good phrases and quotes, especially when she was talking about art, but it just didn't do it for me. I just didn't like it that much. So now I'm ready to start something else. My kids are, Eliza's napping and Bernadette is doing kitten time. She spends most of the afternoon hanging out in with the kittens. It's nice because it means I can read because she just plays with the kittens constantly. It's awesome. So I'm going to draw another book, and this one I'm doing is new releases. So this is the prompt of a 2019 release. And I was looking at my pile, and there's at least a couple books that I am not interested in reading right now. So if I pull one of those, I'll probably pull again. But there were several. I'm very excited. And I don't have the books out here. I'm just going to tell you the title and show you the book later when I'm actually reading it. Oh, awesome. Okay, so this is one I actually want to read. It's called Fake It Till You Break It. I don't remember who the author is because I never read her before, but this is a fake dating trope, which is one that I absolutely love, so I'm excited about it. Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, and I was just about to try on some clothes. I got a package from Old Navy. Shopping with kids is just hard, so I've just decided to order clothes, try them on, return them in store if I need to. So I got a bunch of dresses. I'm not really a fashion person. I don't keep up with what's going on. But lately I've been doing the whole dress with leggings thing because it's easy, it's versatile. I can add a sweater if it's cold. I could take off the leggings and just wear the dress if it's hot. I can wear multiple kinds of shoes depending on the weather. So it's just the easy mom life doing that way. So I ordered a bunch of dresses from Old Navy, and I'm going to try them on. I only have one place in this house that has a full-length mirror, and that's in the playroom. So there'll be lovely, come on in, Eliza. I'm gonna close the door. There'll be lovely toys in the background when we look in the mirror. So here's dress number 1. It's similar style to another one I bought from them, but the other one was more loose, and this one has a more like tighter feel. Okay, honey, it's fine. This one has a more tighter feel, so I prefer to have a little more loose when I'm wearing leggings under it, so this one will probably end up going back. So the next one is long sleeve, so that'll be better in the winter. It does have that more like loose skirt look that I like. I like the color, blue, the flowers. So it gives me a little more color instead of just a solid. So I think I'm gonna keep this one because it goes well. All right, kids. Yep. Dress number 3. This one I think is the exact same one as the last one, just a solid color, which, you know, I like this color, and the good thing is that I could wear, what are they called, scarves with it in the winter. So, I might end up keeping this one too. No, I can't carry both of you right now. So I'll try it on with a couple scarves, see what I think. Well, this one's similar to the last one in style, except for short sleeves, but for some reason this one feels a little more moo-moo-ish. Like when I go to the side, it like looks like I'm bigger than I actually am. Like, not that I want a lot of definition because I want it loose, but I don't want to look like I'm 20 pounds heavier than I actually am. So probably this one is gonna go back. This is the last one, and this is actually exactly what I was talking about. I wanted something with a little more waist so I didn't look bigger. And I like how this one, since it's sleeveless, I can wear like now when it's warmer and then put on a sweater in the winter. So I'm definitely going to keep this one, and I might try those other 2 back on later with a scarf and see if I actually like them or if I just want to keep This one and maybe the blue one? I don't know. So it's later in the day and I am making some chai. I mean, I know chai means tea, but in America, usually we talk about chai being like the spicy drink. So I am making some concentrate at home instead of buying the really sugary kind. So I've just been boiling some tea and spices, and I'm about to filter out the tea and make myself a latte. Okay, so I added my milk and heated it up a little bit to make my latte. I wouldn't say it's perfect. I tried to do one that was lower sugar, so it didn't have any sugar, it only had honey as sweetener. And because I'm so used to like the Starbucks, or when I'm at home, the concentrate I use is the same one they have at Starbucks with Tazo. I wanted something with less sugar, but this is like almost too much less sugar. So I might have to go back to the drawing board on the recipes, or maybe just after a couple days I might get more used to this, because it's just, I really like having a latte, but I don't want the amount of sugar that's in the Starbucks one. So we're gonna keep working at it. If any of you guys have a recipe that you use, let me know. I also was missing one of the key spices because my local bulk store did not have it. Like I went to an Amish bulk, can't say that word, store to get most of the spices, and they didn't have cardamom, which is kind of like the most important spice. It's kind of the key flavor profile in chai, so I'll have to look for that sometime. Sorry, Bernadette came in right as I was talking. So I'm just sitting here drinking my tea, having some pumpkin seeds that I also got from the bulk store. And I was gonna read a little bit of Fake It Till You Break It. I don't think I ever showed you guys the actual cover. So this is a new book by Jen Nguyen, and I had said it was fake dating trope. I'm only like 2 chapters in or something, so don't really have anything to say. I'm going to read for a little bit. I did, before this, had earlier today listened to my chapters of Emmy and Oliver, so I am over 50% of the way through, and truthfully, I'm finding this pretty boring. Just not liking it. I feel like it's very typical YA romance, but I thought it was going to be more hard-hitting because of the kidnapping, because, like I said, Oliver was kidnapped by his father and now he's returned after 10 years. But it doesn't have enough of that to actually like have any emotion and stuff attached, so it just feels like a basic YA romance that's using a gimmick in the kidnapping instead of it being like a really main part of the book. So far, not really liking it. Alright, so it is, what day is it? Thursday evening, and I was thinking I wanted to read an audiobook. I'm still reading Fake It Till You Break It. I'm up to date with all of my reading of Emmy and Oliver, so I want another audiobook because I'm going to mop tonight, do some other cleaning, so always good to have an audiobook. So what I did was I grabbed another jar. This one, the blue one, is Diverse Reads, and I went through and I took out everything that didn't have an audiobook, so I looked through all my library apps and stuff like that, and so all of these have an audiobook, or at least as of yesterday they did. So after I pull it, I'll look and make sure. So I'm going to pull one of these. And what did I get? This Song Will Save Your Life by, I think this is by Lily Sales, something like that. I don't have the author written on that. But I believe, I don't know what all the diversity is, but I know that it involves a lot of mental health. And then when I was looking up online, it said there was a lot of diversity in the cast, but the focus was on mental health, and that was the main diverse thing, because I don't suffer from a mental illness, so it's always a good thing to read somebody else's experience. So I'm going to go make sure that it's still available from the library, and that's a good one because it's kind of short. It should be one that I can easily read. Oh, it's Friday, finally. Today has been quite the adventure. I won't even go into it because it was just like one thing after another, like smoke detectors going off, pee on the floor, water overflowing out of the sink, you know, normal like things with 4 and 1-year-old. So it's been a tough day. So now I'm just sitting relaxing and watching Bernadette play on her brand new playset. During my husband's like before work and during lunch, she put together her playset and they finished it tonight. So I'm just chilling, probably gonna have some wine later because it's been a day. Do you like it?
Mm-hmm. And look at this telescope. Wow, you look really big, Mama.
It's now Saturday. Like I said in that last clip, Friday was just a wash. So many just ridiculous things happened in the afternoon, and it was like one thing after another after another. So not much reading happened. But today I've been doing some chores around the house, and so I finished the audiobook for Emmy and Oliver. I didn't love this book. I feel like my readathon is going downhill. I loved More Than We Can Tell. I did not like Graffiti Moon, and this was just average. It was just okay. It wasn't anything special in my opinion. I thought she was trying to do 2 different things and it wasn't successful. And that is that it was like, it basically, like the plot was just a romantic YA, like these 2 people, you know, liking each other and getting together. But that wasn't successful in my opinion because I didn't feel like the 2 characters had any chemistry. Like I feel like they would have been better actually as friends and not have gone the romantic route because they were childhood friends, and it just didn't seem like they had any like thing really getting them together romantically. Like I didn't really feel like there was any connection. And then you throw in the whole like him having been kidnapped and all the emotions from that. She didn't go far enough with that, I feel, so it didn't have that much of an impact on the story in my opinion. And so it was like trying to create a YA romance that is more hard-hitting, but it didn't really get to the hard-hitting. So for me, it was just kind of like, okay, 3-star type of like middle of the road. All right, guys, so it is Sunday night, so it's the end of the Contemporaryathon, and my vlogging has definitely declined as the week went on, which I think is pretty normal, and the weekend was busy. So I just wanted to update you because I did finish another book and got farther in another, and then I'll kind of summarize what all I did. So I finished today this song, Will Save Your Life by Lila Sales. I think in my earlier clip I said her name was Lily, so it's Lila. And I did like this book, but okay, so the thing with her book, so I read another book by her, Tonight the Streets Are Ours, and I said in that one that it was really well written, but it just wasn't for me. Like it was definitely one of those YAs that isn't for adults really, that's really for teens. And this one, similar. I didn't really connect to it or enjoy it as much as I wanted to, but I think it's a really good book. So I gave it 4 stars because I think it deserves 4 stars, and I would highly recommend it for teens or even young 20s. I just didn't really connect to it, but I thought it was really well done, and I loved the character growth. I think that's the great thing about both books I've read of hers. The characters start out kind of obnoxious to me, but both of them had such a big arc, and this one, yeah, definitely a lot of character growth. Sorry, I had a cocktail earlier, so I feel like I'm not forming sentences. So, did really enjoy this, but won't like be a new favorite or anything like that. But I do think it's a good book. And then I got farther in Fake It Till You Break It, and I will probably continue reading this tonight, but I just am going to go to bed, get ready for bed, so I'm not going to like update again. I've made it almost 2/3 of the way through. It's a very cute fake dating book. Like it's not anything groundbreaking or new to that trope necessarily, but definitely cute if you like that trope. Like today I read the scene that happens in every single fake dating book or movie where the people have a kiss because, you know, you've got to like convince other people that you're fake dating, so they have a kiss, and then of course it gets like steamy and kind of catches the people by surprise. I had that scene. she did a great job with that scene because that's always my favorite scene in all like these kind of books and movies. So that gives it higher credit. So cute book, enjoying it. So in terms of overall what I did, I finished, of the 7 prompts, I finished 4. I'm trying to think if the other 2 prompts would count for any of these because, well, I guess I maybe finished 5 because this one I counted as a book that is beloved by somebody in the community, but it could also be hard-hitting, so that would be 2 there. This one was an illustrated cover. This was the yellow on the cover. And this one was diverse read because it was about suicide and mental, like some mental illness. And then this one I did not finish, but I'm going to count it anyways. And this was a 2019 release. So the only thing I did not finish was a plant on the cover. And unfortunately, none of these that I read have a plant on the cover. And I just didn't get to that one. I also did try a chapter for the diverse read, but I am doing that as a separate video, so I'm not going to spoil it here and tell you which one I ended up picking for that. I did not read the book all the way. I just read the first chapter, but I am going to read it over the next couple days. So I'm kind of counting it as part of like not necessarily as part of the Contemporaryathon because I use this as my hard hitting, but it was what the Contemporaryathon spurred me on to do the try chapter. So that should come out soon. I like when I do a try chapter to actually finish the book that I pick. So that video probably won't come out till later in the week because I want to finish the book. I think it'll read fast. So hopefully by the end of this week, you will have that video out. Everybody likes to try a chapter tag. Like, it's just a fun video to do. So I feel like Contemporaryathon was a success because September was kind of a hard month for me with books I didn't really love. And not that I loved all of these. Like, these 2 books I did not love, but I found a new 5-star read, which I kind of want to reread this book already. I think I'm going to reread both of these probably at the beginning of 2020 because I just love them and want to read them back to back. And I did think this was a really well done book. And I'm enjoying Fake It Till You Break It. So I think it was a successful week to have finished 4 books and most of a 5th. I had a good time. Hopefully you had a good time this week. I will talk to you later.